Or you could, if it gets really late in the season, you could combine this hive with another hive to bolster the numbers. There's a lot of options. But yeah, those are some of the things you could do.
It's not a loss.
It's not a total loss, and they're putting honey away. You'll have the honey. They're drawing out comb. You'll have the drawn comb. So it's not a total loss, and you have to kind of view. I think, this is like a group, right? And these hives can help each other and support each other. And if you end up losing one small weak hive, it just gets folded into one of the other hives and boosts their numbers. So I think it's sort of a good way to look at it. I think they're going to do another hive talk later. So
is there going to be a honey extraction demonstration?
There is, yeah.
When's that?
Later today. I don't know exactly. I mean, things only run till 4 here, so it won't be too late. Any other questions, or?
Is there an optimum number of hives that people try to keep?
It's a in terms of what, in one location, you mean, or?
Yeah.
It really depends on the forage that's available. In Mount Airy, there's a lot of forage, but it's hard to actually know. I know of commercial beekeepers that keep 40 to 60 hives in one yard, right? So chances are these 5 hives, there's more than enough forage in this area with some forested lands, lots of backyard gardens, window boxes, and lots of blooming trees. But I can't give you an exact answer. It really depends on the location.
How big is the territory for these bees?
The bees will fly anywhere from 1 to up to 8 miles in a radius if there's no forage. If they can't find anything, they'll keep going for 8 miles until they're able to locate a source of forage. So I don't know the square mileage of that, but it's a really big area.
If you've got limited space, is there a problem of keeping a single hive? Is there advantage having a little two?
Personally, I would, if you're just getting started, I would recommend starting with 2 for a couple reasons. First, you'll be able to compare the 2 hives to each other, because they could be right next to each other, and they could have completely different experiences in the same summer, right? Based on the bees, based on factors that we don't really understand. If you don't have, you need some space, right? You need to be able to get around the hives. You need to be able to work them. You need some space to put down boxes. Like my roof is pretty large. I've got plenty of space up there. But you need a little more space than just the footprint of the hive, right? You want to be able to get around the hive, at least from one side or the back. So you kind of just have to look at your space and assess. If it means putting an empty hive down there to see what it looks like, then you do that. But you want at least a little bit of space around it. Other than that, the bees don't care. They'll come out and fly straight up if they have to. And some people recommend, if you're in the city, putting a barrier right in front of the hive, a foot away or so. So the bees have to go up. And that way they're not going to get in your neighbor's business or whatnot. They'll just go straight up. So they don't really care. The space is more about what you're comfortable with and what works for you. That's what I would say.
Does it need to face a certain direction?
It's best to face the morning sun. The earlier the hive gets warm from the morning sun, the earlier the bees will be out. So, south-facing, southeast-facing is best. Look at your particular space. Watch where the sun goes over the course of the day. I think you'd rather have morning and early afternoon sun than later if you had to choose between the 2.
I've read that it's really important to have fresh water always available. Does a creek count or a lake?
Yeah, a creek or a lake counts. And I've read that too, and I've never done anything about it. In terms of providing them with water. I tried it, and they ignored it totally. So I figured, they're finding something. But yeah, creek or lake is perfect. They'll have unlimited water.
Is there a sort of a minimum amount of bees that will allow it to overwinter?
There's a non-bee related friend. Caterpillar. See? Again, I don't think there's a hard and fast. Who asked that? I don't think there's a hard and fast answer to that. I know of people who overwinter in nukes. You know, they take nukes through the winter with no problem. I had 2 hives last year. One of them made it, one of them didn't. The one that didn't, I think, was because the population wasn't big enough. There was no sign of any other problem in the hive. They had honey. I think they were just too small for that critical mass, and or the space was too big for them. So I think ideally, you know, you want a couple supers full of frames and, you know, bees that at least almost fill that. But other people might be able to answer that better than I.
So they remove this dead guy right at the entrance?
They'll take care of them eventually. Yeah, there are bees that their job and their role is undertaker, and I watch this all the time because I can look right out my window, and they will pick up bees, and they won't just dump them in front of the hive. They will make it certain that they fly away with the dead bee. It's pretty amazing. You know, it's instinct, I think. If there's some disease or something wrong with that bee, they want it far away. So they'll struggle. You'll see them trying to take off. They'll fall. They'll keep at it until they get that dead bee away. That's been my observation. So
is it okay, like you have them right there in the grass, you can run your lawnmower right up to that?
I think you want to be a little careful of that, from what I hear. Fortunately for me, I don't have a lawn to worry about, but yeah, you want to be a little careful. Worst case scenario is you could seal up the hive if the timing of the day is right. All the bees are back in there, or you do it really early in the morning. Do your mowing, open it up, and let them do their thing. But I think you do have to be a little bit careful about that. You know, you don't want to accidentally bump the hive, or that would knock it over. That would make them pretty unhappy.
How close to the ground does it have to be? Does it matter?
It doesn't have to be close to the ground. Some people put their hives up on stands,
Right.
cinder blocks, pallets. I'm gonna step away, and so a lot of it's personal preference, but you also have to pay attention to, you know, the specific site that you're using. You know, is there going to be a big puddle under the hive? Well, obviously you want to get it up far away from that puddle. Mine's on my roof, so I have to be aware of drainage issues and make sure there's not pooling of water. My hives are up on like cinder blocks, you know, so you can really sort of wing it. Most people get it up off the ground a little bit, you know, at least 6 to 8 inches or something like that, but depends a lot on your space.
Do you find that they don't sting you through the rubber gloves?
They can, and they have.
Yeah.
But again, they were pretty calm in here. They weren't really riled up. This guy's just kind of checking me out, this girl. But I've also found the rubber gloves help me. They minimize the effect of the sting.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is there any way
Yeah.
You don't wear beekeeping ones? The goat skin or...
No, I just find them. These are just tight fitting. I can really feel to a degree what's going on, and I have all the dexterity I need. I find the leather, the goatskin gloves, just a little cumbersome.
Yeah.
That's just me. So yeah, you find what works for you. These are cheap. They're easy to get if I need them, but they can sting through them.
Okay.
So, all right.
Thank you.
Any
Very
other
good.
questions?
Thank you.